Good morning. As we go to the Chitas of today, we are holding on chapter 3, verse number 1. Today's Wednesday, the fourth reading of Parshas Shemos. Moshe HaYarayah is saying, Yisrei Chaisnei. Moshe was a shepherd of his father, Yisrei. Here you have the name Yisrei. Yisrei Chaisnei. His father-in-law, Kayin Midian, who was the Kayin, the priest in Midian. And he would lead his sheep into the desert. And he came to the mountain of God, to Chereva. This is Mount Sinai. Rashi says, why would he go into the desert? To distance himself from the possibility of any kind of geneva. He didn't want that his sheep, like Avraham Avinu, he didn't want a sheep should have any aspect that they would steal from another person's field. He went into a desert, which is a place that is open to everybody, and he was basically would shepherd his sheep there. To the Mount of Chorev, which is Mount Sinai. That's one of the names of that Mount Sinai is Mount Chorev. And Al Shema Asi, this is the name for the future. And an angel of God revealed to him. In a flame of fire, from within a thorn bush. And Moshe Rabbeinu saw, he saw that the bush was burning, but the bush itself was not being consumed. She says, "Belavas eish, the flame shall heves." You see, the Alter Rebbe in Tanya uses this expression, a shall heves, a burning fire. When the Alter Rebbe wants to express himself about the expression of the heart, he always uses this expression that it's shall heves eish, a burning fire, not just a fire, but an consuming fire. And but not for the other tree. It was interesting that it was a thorn bush. God wanted to show that he is in the distress of another person. He's with them in their thorn bush. Uchal, so Rashi says consume, like which the work has been done, uchal. And it was being consumed but not consumed. It was being burnt but not being burnt. Yeman, he said, so Moshe Rabbeinu said to himself, let me turn around and see. Let me turn around and see. Wow, this is unbelievable, spectacular. This is not just a burning tree. Sure, there was a lot of burning trees in the desert. This was an interesting phenomenon. Why doesn't the tree why doesn't the tree be consumed? Asura Mikal is God of Shalom. Let me turn away from here to see what's happening there. Verse number 4, Vayar Hashem Kisar. And the Abishah saw that he turned literally to see. Vayikra Elav, and they called to him, Vayikra Elav, and God called to him from the burning bush. Vayemem Moshe. And he said, Moshe. And he said, Hineni, here I am. So God told him, don't come too close to here. Take off your shoes from your feet. Because the place that you're standing on, this is a holy place. She says, pull it off. Shal. Now she's giving to the meaning of the word shal, means to remove. Admas Kodesh, this place, this physical place. Verse number 6, God told him, I am the God of your father. Avram, the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, the God of Isaac, Yaakov, the God of Jacob. Moshe Panav. So Moshe Rabbeinu hid his face. Simply was afraid to see the face of God. See the Kodesh Baruch. Verse 7, Yema Hashem and God said, I've surely seen the affliction of my people. Hashem Mitzrayim, the Mitzrayim who are in Egypt. There's a custom Shamati, and I've heard their cries. If they know because of their slave drivers, Yadaitis Makava, because I know their pains. Ash says, Yadaiti, similar to God knew. Torah uses the word over here, Yadaiti again. There's a concept you see in this verse, 3 expressions. The Isi, Shamaiti, Yadaiti. The Isi means I've seen, Shamaiti, I've heard, Yadaiti, I know. And that's what that is to say, that I set my heart. Yediah. Yediah does not mean I've heard or I've even seen. Yediah means that it's something that I'm connected to. And you see that Rashi explains this. Let's explain the Tanya the same thing. My heart contemplates and knows their pains. It's not something that I know. God knows everything. It's this is something that I'm involved with. And neither will I block my ears from their cry. This is something that I am Yediyah. I have an intimate relationship with this situation. I'm intimately involved. Therefore, I descended to save them from the land of Egypt, and to bring them up from this land, from that land. I'm bringing them up to a land, a spacious and beautiful land. A land that is flowing of milk and honey. Which is the place where the Canaanites are, Achiti and the Chitites are, Ameri and the Amorites are, Aprizi and the Prizi of Achiva. I'm bringing them back home. And now the crying of the Jewish people have come to me. And I've also seen the oppression. Hashem Mitzrayim left to me. So there's two things over here. The concept of the cry of the Jews, and I've seen the way the Egyptians are treating them. Now it's time. Now it's time has come. I'm sending you to Pharaoh. You're becoming my shliach. Take out this nation, take him out for Egypt. Ashi says, and if you ask, and what help will this be? And take my people out. What help? You're going to say, I'm going to come to Pharaoh. I've not seen him in over 60 years. I'm going to come to Pharaoh. Your words will help. Don't think who you are. You're a shepherd someplace in Midian. I chose you, and therefore you're gonna accomplish it. Moshe said to God, who am I? Who am I that's going to go to Pharaoh? That's number one. Who am I that's going to take the Jews out of Mitzrayim? Rashi says, what importance am I? I'm not, especially you have to realize that God took an outsider. Somebody who was not even there. You should have taken somebody that's there. I'm going to come to Pharaoh. I've not been there for 60 years, over 60 years. That I should speak to kings. Who am I? Even if I am important, what merit do the Jews have that a miracle should be brought to them? And I should take them out of Egypt. It's a miraculous event. Rashi says, so the Torah continues, verse number 12. God answered, it's not you, it's me. I am with you. And this I'm going to give you a sign that I have sent you. Not you have come there on your own, but I have sent you. The proof is going to be when you will take the Jews out of Mitzrayim. You will, here is going to be Matan Torah. You're going to come back to this mountain. You're going to bring him back to this mountain. You're going to bring it, you're going to give them the Torah. So you are going to see that that's going to happen. Rashi says God answered for his former question first and latter question second. Considering you said, what am I to go to Pharaoh? So the God tells me, that's not your mission. It's not yours. You're right. You're nobody. It's my mission. For I will be with you. And this vision which you have seen, the thorn bush, is a sign for you that I was the one who sent it and will succeed this mission. That I am able to save you. Just as you saw the thorn bush performing in my mission and not being harmed, so you go on my mission and not be harmed. You will burn, I say, but you will not be consumed. You have nothing to worry about. That's number one. Concerning what you asked, what merit did the Jewish people have to go out of Egypt? I have great things dependent on this exodus. You're right. They're going out of Mitzrayim for one reason, that they received the Torah. And that's why they're going out of Mitzrayim. And you're going to see it's going to happen. I have a great thing dependent on this exodus. For the end of 3 months, for Exodus or for Egypt, they're destined to receive the Torah on this mountain. Another explanation, Rashi says, I'll give you another. For I will be with you. And this, namely, that you will succeed in your mission on which I am sending, is a sign for you for another promise. For I promise you, namely, that when you take them out of Egypt, you will serve God in this mountain, for you receive the Torah on it. And in this merit that will stand up for Israel, similar to the expression, the future event serves as a sign for a distant event. Find this, there shall be a sign, an ice for you. This year shall eat what grows. Lachera's downfall will be the sign for you regarding another promise, that your land is desolate of fruit, and I will bless what grows. The seed said, in essence, that I will show you that one sign will bring another sign. What your question is, who's taking that on its sign is me, and the proof is going to be that they're going to ultimately be and serve God on this mountain. Verse 13, God said, Moshe Rabbeinu said to God, behold, I'm going to come to the Jewish people. And I tell them, I'm going to tell them, the God of your fathers has sent me. And they're going to ask me a question. What's his name? Many Karash doesn't say anything on this pasuk, but there's many Mefarshim in this pasuk. What is the question? What's your name? What's the difference? What's the name? There's many interpretations to this question. God answered Moshe, Eya Asher Eya. One of the JLI classes over here. Eya Asher Eya. I am who I am. I'll be what I will be. This is what you should tell the Jewish people. Then she had to tell you the changes in the pasuk. He says Eya She'eya, and then he says Eya. Rashi says, I will be with them in this predicament, but I will be with them in their other galus. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, this I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them you're with them here like you're going to be with them in the future exile. Well, Lord, why should I mention them another trouble? They had enough problems with this one. Said to him, you are spoken well. He said to them, Eya, I am here. I am. Not that Moshe Rabbeinu got for outsmarted God. He didn't understand what God meant. Because originally, when God said, I will be what I will be, he told this to Moshe alone. Not meaning that he should tell it to Israel. That's the meaning, and that you're spoken well. For what my original intention, that you should not tell such thing to Israel. Don't tell the Jewish people that. I told you this. What you should tell the Jewish people is, Eya. So you shall say to the children of Israel, Eya, I will be. The chapter of brachas, this appears to be the correct interpretation. Give this matter your deliberation, how she says. Okay, so this is an interesting expression. Again, there's so many mefarshim. Eya Over here, he translated, Eya, I will. So Rashi translates, Eya, I will, I am, I'm there. I will be as I will be. Eya can be translated, I am because I am. That's what the Rambam says. Eya Sheya, God is because he is. He's not, he's the only concept that he's there because of himself, not because of something else. Verse number 15, and God said to him another thing. This is what you should tell the Jewish people. You're asking, what's his name? The God of your fathers. Avram, the God of Abraham. Have you forgotten Abraham? Yitzchak, the God of Isaac. Yaakov. You got to remember your forefathers. Remember that already 210 years after Yaakov Avinu. It's a long time. Generations after Yaakov Avinu. This is my name forever. And this is my mention, my remembrance from generation to generation. Ashi says, if you work on the word la'olam, you'll see that there's missing a vav in this word. There's missing a vav in the word la'olam. After the ayin, it should be a vav. So it's a word that is chasar. It's a word that is missing. Missing a letter. Why does it come to teach us? Because it's hidden. La'olam also means hidden. Allah, it's hidden. So it's not be read and written. We don't read la'olam, we read la'olam. So it's written one way, we read it a different way because it's missing a vav, which is the chaylam. Since the vav la'olam is missing, we are to understand that it as la'olam to conceal. That's a general Chassidus learns. Olam is lashon hara. Olam is expression of hiddenness. My name is hidden. You ask me what my name is? It is hidden. And that's what it means. That's me la'olam. Simple interpretation, this is my name forever. But Rashi says is missing a vav, which means you ask me what my name is hidden. But he got taught him, Moshe, how it should be read. And so said David, oh Lord, your name is forever, oh Lord. The mentioning of your name is for every generation. So but ultimately we call God's name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. So we don't say God's name. You see, even today, we don't say God's name, it's hidden. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. We say Adonai, which is Lord. So it's hidden. But you should know, I can tell you how to read the name. The Beis HaMikdash, they're going to say the name. Mashiach comes, they'll say the name. But right now, it is hidden. But the name never changed. Whether it's hidden or it's not hidden, it's ultimately the name of God. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is the tetragram, what we call in English, is a God, name's God, which shows in the concept of the world of the world of emanation, the world of oneness, the world of past, present, future, as one. The word of God, and that's why the word where God is a paradox. The snare, the bush burns, but it doesn't consume. That's called in Kabbalah and Chassidus, Nimnav Ninois, is the concept of the paradox of where it takes place and it doesn't take place at the same time. As the menorah burnt, but it didn't burn. It didn't burn. The oil burnt in the menorah, but it didn't burn. Didn't get consumed. So it was a miracle, and actually that miracle happened on Hanukkah with all the menorah, but in tradition, the menorah Maravi burnt. The oil burnt, but it didn't get consumed. The Aron took a place, but it had no place. The snap burnt, but it didn't consume. And that's when you see the paradox of infinity in a finite reality. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu saw. And that's why God answered him. I am who I am. And you see it with your own eyes. It's not something that is capable to understand, and that's why it's hidden. Okay, learned a little Chassidus in our Chumash learning. Okay, that completes the Chumash of today. We go now to the Tanya of the day. We start chapter 13 of Tanya. The previous chapter, Alter Rebbe describes the spiritual profile of a Beinoni. in the Beinoni's heart, says the Alter Rebbe, evil desire may often arise. That's reality. That's his nature. But so that's his nature because he has an animal soul, and his animal soul is not going to let him live. It's going to drive him crazy. But his divine soul constantly prevents such desires from finding expression again in actual thought, speech, and action. The divine soul says, "Gesund to hate. You can challenge me. I'm up for the challenge, and it's not going to take over my thought, speech, and it's not going to have to even come to thought. Forget about speech and action. It's not coming in my thought. On the contrary, these three soul garments are exclusive domain of the divine soul. That's it. That is the struggle of the Beinoni, and are utilized by the Beinoni only for thought, speech, and action of Torah, study, and the fulfillment of mitzvahs. That's it. He is focused 24/7. He's focused. Even when he goes out to the world, even when he's in business, he still has his mind focused on his purpose in life, which is to serve God. And he can serve God in everything that he does. Right? As the verse says, all my actions are for the sake of heaven. And all your ways I see godliness. I see no God. And that's the Beinoni. The Beinoni makes sure that he's never taken over. Okay, let's go right. According to this, we'll understand what the sages say. Beinoni, the Gemara said, we mentioned this Gemara before in the first chapter of Tanya. Beinoni, what is the Beinoni? The Gemara says, the Beinoni is judged by his good and by his bad. What does it mean? Both judged by both of them. It means both of them are in him. They are both in him. He's walking around. He's bipolar. He's walking around. The bipolar is when you have itself. These are two different entities that are walking around in you. You see it? And that's why it says, that the Eibishter stands. That's what the Eibishter says today in the Pasha. Hey, Hashem, I'm with you. Don't worry. Wherever you are, I'm with you. I stand with you. And that's the meaning of this passage. The Eibishter, God says, I stand at the right side of the poor man to save him from the judgment of his soul. What means the plural, to judge them that judge, indicates the presence of two judges within the person, the evil inclination and the good inclination. I'm standing there to help him from the judges of his soul. And we need God's help, and that's why we pray to God. When we pray to God to help us from physical issues, we should pray to the Eibush to help us from our nefesh habahamis, from our animalistic soul. Thus, finally, the Beinoni inclination are described as his judges. That's really what the Alter Rebbe wants to bring over here. They're considered a judge. Now, with the term Beinoni to be understood in a simple, literal sense of one who's equal in history of good deeds and bad deeds, it would more properly say the Beinoni is ruled by both inclinations. For one, the sin, his evil inclination must rule him. But he's not ruled, he's judged. That's what the Alter Rebbe wants to bring in. Mishpatei nafshe. He's judged, he's not ruled. He's ruled only by his godly soul. He is judged by his animalistic soul. The Beinoni who supposedly does both must be ruled, not merely judged. However, according to this explanation, the term Beinoni, given in the previous chapter, it's clear that indeed the Beinoni is merely judged. He has the animalistic soul telling him, I want to do something else. I know who you are. I'm telling you, you can live in another way. And we don't listen to him. It doesn't say both are ruled. It says both are judged. God forbid if he's ruled by his animalistics. Because again, God forbid, my animalistic soul becomes the ruler of my existence, even for a small time. Again, don't fool. Shouldn't fool myself. To think that if my animalistic soul comes and rules me for a minute, that is not important. It is important because that moment I'm considered a wicked person, my friends, because I have given in to my animalistic soul. I've given in to my desires of my animalistic soul. But thank God, my Yetzer Hara is no more than, for example, a shayfet, vedaya magistrate or judge who expresses his opinion. Thank you for your, that's what it's saying. Thank you for your opinion, but I'm not taking it. That's it. He expresses his opinion. Ultimately, in a court, in a regular court, Jewish court, you have three judges. One judge and the two judges are arguing with each other. So you have an opinion. Why? First, it's an opinion because you have the other judge who argues with his opinion. So thank you for your opinion, and I have a different opinion. What do you do if you have two judges that have two different opinions? What do you need? That's why you have the third judge, and the third judge is going to be the one who's going to arbitrate between the two other judges. And really, who's the third? The third judge. The third judge is the one who establishes the case, because then it's going to be 2 against 1, and that's going to be the law. So to the Yetzer Hara says his opinion. And what happens is, for the left part of the heart, the Yetzer Hara says his opinion. Zalman, I want to tell you my opinion in this situation. It creates the evil desire in his heart and demands that he acts accordingly. He says, my opinion. He says, listen, I don't want you to listen to my opinion. I want you to follow my opinion. And Rendiga, this is the way you need to do things. And once he has an opinion, it goes to his heart. Maybe that's the opinion. Maybe that's the way I should do. But what happens is the second guy says, wait a second, Yetzer says, I have an opinion too. What's about my opinion? My opinion is he shouldn't do that. And it goes to Malcolm Yetzer Hara. It comes from the right side of his heart. So the good inclination is actually the voice of the divine soul. Emotion attributes, and hence active in the right side of the heart, as we mentioned in chapter 9. So both sides of the heart, so to say, symbolically, spiritual concept, two sides of the heart are arguing, so to say, what opinion should be accepted. The good inclination does battles with the evil, ensuring that the latter's passion does not realize, says, listen, don't do it. But the opinion for the good inclination is that the body's faculties and organs be utilized for man and holiness. It's not a holy thing. Why would you do something that's unholy? What do we do now? We have two opinions. Therefore, halacha kedivra machriya. Go to halacha. Go to God. God is your third judge. Go to God. Your God is going to be on the side of the Yetzer Hara. So it's going to be 2 against 1. That's why every Jew should follow shalacha. Somebody tells you, why are you doing this? I'm following halacha. Following Jewish law. This is what the Torah says. It's my Yetzer Hara says. It's what the Torah says. And it's 2 against 1. So I'm not just, I hear the opinion. I understand the opinion. I might even want to do the opinion. But it's against Jewish law. And that's why I am not going to do it. Because I'm going to go 2 against 1. So everything I do, I need to judge it. And when I cannot come to a conclusion because I have one against the other, go to Shulchan Aruch. Open up the Code of Jewish Law and see what the halacha says. And that's why the sages say, if it wasn't for God that is helping, if you're not going to establish this fact, that if I'm going to try to rationalize always with my Yitzhak, my Yitzhak, I'm going to try to have this battle and always rationalize it, I will lose. I always need to ask the question, what does God say? What does the Torah say? Should I do this or shouldn't I do this? I have a problem, that's why I have a rabbi. Call it off. And ask him the question, say l'charav. Ask the question, what does Allah say? What does God say about this? So therefore, ultimately, I can rationalize now that I've thought about it. I see both good. I see the good in both, but I'm going to follow. I'm going to follow halacha, not because I really want to, but that's the way it goes. So it's 2 against 1, and I should follow halacha, and that's why the sages tell us that if God, that's what it means. God stands by the place of the Evian. So who's the Evian over here? Not that I'm losing the battle to my Yetzer Hara. That shows you that the Yetzer Tov is the Evian. He's the poor guy. Means he seemingly doesn't have enough. His opinion is not strong enough to overcome the opinion of my Yetzer Hara. And he's going to win. Yetzer Hara is going to win. Because his opinion in my existence is more powerful. I need to go to halacha. I need to go to God. I need to ask God, what do I do? And God said, I'm going to be on the side of the godly. He's the Evian. He's the poor guy. And this helps. This helps. That God grants it. This is the glow of the divine soul that illuminates the light. That's it. Imagine the Yetzer Tov says, wow, I am a partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm a partner with God. I couldn't find a better partner. Couldn't find a better partner that I have the Eibishter with me. That's why we'll learn later that the Eibishter, where do you find the presence of God is in the 4 cubits of Jewish law. Because there's where God comes as a partner with my godly soul. That your godly soul has superiority over the stupidity of your animal soul. There's where light brings out from darkness. That I have no thing better. That I have the Eibishter as part of my agenda. Just like a light banishes darkness, so does the abundant folly of darkness, of one evil inclination, driven away by a dint of a little light of holiness, emanating from his divine soul. And this ray of divine illumination that constitutes God's assistance. I can always turn around and say, what does God say about this? I have an issue, I have a struggle, I have an inner struggle, it's a real struggle. What does God say about it? That's when we bring God to everything in our lives. And God becomes a partner with my godly soul to be in a court. And now we have 2 against 1. Who? Me, my godly soul. God, together against my animalistic soul. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The Rebbe goes on now to resolve a contradiction and answer the question noted in the opening words of Tanya. Talmud states that a Jew is charged with an oath regarding himself as wicked, right? That was the beginning of the first chapter. Where elsewhere, the Mishnah says, be not wicked in your own estimation. So we had a contradiction in the first chapter. Also, if a person considers himself wicked, he will grieve at his heart and depressed and will not be able to serve God. That's now to them asked the question. He now explains the meaning of the oath, which literally reads, be in your own eyes like a Rasha. That is one to regard himself not as an actual Rasha, but like a Rasha, having traits similar to those of a Rasha. This means that he must consider himself a Beinoni. Everybody, that's what the verse means. That's what the vow means. I mean, you shall be in your eyes like a Rasha. Everybody shouldn't think he's a tzaddik. Everybody should not think he's a Rasha either. Everybody should realize he's a Beinoni who possesses the same evil soul as does a Rasha, and can therefore desire evil dust like a Rasha. Nobody should pick himself up above anybody else. I shouldn't think I'm greater than any guy who's wicked out there. If I want to build myself up, that I'm better than somebody else because he's wicked and I'm not. Don't fool yourself. You have the capacity of wickedness like anybody else. But thank God, God's helping you. You're reaching out to God, and God's helping you. Interesting. I just want to connect it to the portion that the Abishah says two things. I heard the cry of the Jew and the pain of the Egyptian. You have to cry out to God to help you. And then the Abishah stands for you because he still realizes the pain of your nefesh habam is what he put you into. It's like God put the Jews into Egypt. God gave us my nefesh habam, but he needs the two concepts. He needs the aspect of you crying out. Your avodah, my avodah. I cry out to God, and God sees what the negative of my nefesh habam is doing to me. Out to them his words. We talked with the in so much as the evil on the left side of the vein. He is in his heart with his native strength and craving after all pleasures of the world. That's it. This is important that we know that just because I am doing everything right doesn't mean my nefesh habehamis is become any minute. He's not minute. He's not nullified before the good. Nor has it been displaced from the position in any degree. He still has an opinion. He will always have an opinion. The only thing is, there's no power. I'm not giving it the power. There's no power to be diffused throughout the limbs of the body, to cause him to do, speak, or even think. Nor is the evil lack of the ability attributed to the Beinoni efforts. For his evil, like that of a Rasha, retains its native strength to pervade the entire body. It can wake up, and if I give it the slightest, not an opinion, if I let the opinion become a reality, then it becomes like any Rasha out there. And the reason is, I know the reason. The reason is only not because of me. It's because God, Baruch Hashem, is standing beside me. He stands to my right hand, a poor man, or male and nefesh like this, and it radiates my God. So, thank God, God helps me. And Baruch Hashem, I survive. That's the vow. That is the vow. God says, I'm making you today that I am going to be there, that you're not going to give in, and you're going to trust. You're going to put your trust in me. Thus, the only divine intervention that prevents the evil from pervading the body. Essentially, however, evil will the Beinoni of the animal soul is strong as a birth. That's why it says you should look in your eyes like a Rosh. As our sages say, even if the entire world says you are righteous, you shouldn't be a Rasha, God forbid, kid Rasha like a Rasha. He should consider himself as a middleman. And don't believe the world. Don't believe the world. It's, oh, you're righteous. You don't have an evil entity in your being. You're not. Because that is your tzaddik. Should never make a tzaddik unless you're a tzaddik. But if the world tells you, you are so wonderful, might be, but you're not that wonderful because you have an animalistic soul. So only a tzaddik succeeds in nullifying transitioning of his evil within him. The world, which judges the Beinoni by the actions and sees never transgression, assumes that he's too effectively banished from within the evil and causes him to sin. Especially people regard it. People say, wow, look at this guy. He only does good. I'm sure he's a tzaddik. He's wonderful. But does the world know what's in your heart? Does the world know what's in your mind? The world doesn't know. Therefore, everybody should realize you should always look as if the essence core of evil is still strong within him. In his left side of his heart, he told us like his when he was born. It never went away. The opposite. It only becomes stronger in the pass of time. As he gets older, he has bigger desires, he has bigger wants, he has bigger needs. He uses animal soul a lot. Whether it's to eating, drinking, other things in this world. So therefore, my animal soul, just like my godly soul has matured, my animal soul has matured, has just gotten bigger. Again, his opinions are gotten bigger. And that's what he has to remember. So as every faculty consists of the animal soul, caused to become even stronger than it was in the birth. Alter Rebbe thus concludes the words, consider yourself like a Rasha. Meaning, one must consider himself a Beinoni. That's what the vow means. Consider you, even if you're a tzaddik, now you understand why Rabba said, I am a Beinoni. Abaye said, Rabba, stop fooling yourself, you are a tzaddik. But Rabba himself said, I am a Beinoni. Even though like Pastor Puma, he never stopped to learn. But Rabba said, maybe within me, I have an animal soul. How do I know? How do I know that I transform an animal soul? Maybe still within me, I have an animal soul. That's why the Mishnah says, nobody should trust himself to the day they die. But once you consider himself a tzaddik and maintain that evil within him, already been nullified to good, he will cease to do the battle with the evil. If a person fools himself, but he thought to himself, maybe I'm not tzaddik, maybe I have evil within me, and therefore I have to make sure never to let it go. I have to keep the battle against evil. If he was mistakenly that he's not a faculty to tzaddik, such a unfound attitude can cause him to slip drastically from his level, standing even lower than the level of Beinoni and that of a Rasha. So never lose who you really are. That completes the Tanya. Beautiful Tanya. Today is the 18th day of the month, which is chapter 88 and 89. You do chapter 88 and 89 in Tehillim, the Psalms, you do Chitas. Wish you all a wonderful, beautiful day. And I'll see you, Mitchell, tomorrow. Continue